day 153 of my 365-day challenge. This is about the material realm, and I learned this actually, the way that this breaks down, from The Millionaire Mind, T. Harv Eker. And he breaks it into a quadrant, kind of how Robert Kiyosaki does the 4 quadrants for how people make money. Same thing. So it's like a little T, and you have your mental, and then your emotional, your spiritual, and your physical. This is in my bullet journal, so that's what I'm looking at. And so you have your mental, your emotional, and your spiritual. So obviously these are all things that are inside. So mental, it's like your psychology of how do you talk to yourself? What are the patterns of conversation you have in your mind, the things that you say to yourself, which in turn will obviously like have you feel how you feel. And then you, with emotion, when those things line up is usually when we start to manifest things. And then you have your spiritual side, which that could be, you know, whatever it is that you spiritually connect to. It's in a sense how I take that is on the spiritual side, it's when you actually let go. So when we let go, if you're looking at laws of attraction and that kind of vibe, it means that you already know that it's yours and you're declaring it, but there's not a speaking of lack. There's no lack. And so if you, let's say, believe in God and you pray and you are, needing help with something, you say, God, I give it up to you. It's like you give that up. And so when you do it, it's a sense of letting go. In the spiritual space, I feel what I've heard people say is it's kind of cutting the cord or truly like knowing already that it's yours, which will then shift your actions as well. Because when you already know that something is coming your way, you already start stepping into the actions to create those things. So that's how I've taken it based on the work that I've previously done and the awareness of me listening to others around me. And in all the different spaces, it makes sense to me like that. And that 4th quadrant is the physical. So I like to call it the material realm, like what is materially here, like this is the bed. And what's cool is what he was saying is that our mental, our emotional, and our spiritual realms are a cause of the reflection of the physical realm. So, one thing I heard Jim Quick say, he says head, heart, hands. So, it's what are we psychologically saying to ourselves? What in turn then are we feeling? Because your brain is a pharmacy. And in these two aligning, whatever alignment that they're in, whether you like it or not, whatever alignment they're in is what has us start to physically act. So the actions that you're taking, it's coming from a feeling or a thought or belief that you have that match up. So we move into those actions, and the actions create whatever it is that we have again. All right. So I love this because the material realm is a reflection of your thoughts, right? So your room, your car, the person you're dating, your the way that you dress, the jobs that you do, like all these things. It's going to boil down to what do you believe you're worthy of? What do you believe you're capable of? What do you love doing? What do you not like doing? I mean, the list is infinite. So one thing I wanted to share with my like little Buddha over here that I love is that I actually ripped this out of, I wish I knew which thing I ripped it out of. And I've talked about this before, but this is the same Buddha. Okay. Same Buddha. And I ripped that out of a Pier 1 catalog. And I was like, oh, I freaking love Pier 1. And I was like, I want this in my space eventually, and I want it to be a part of the creator space. And this bed is going to be gone, like probably within 2 weeks. I was going to have a friend take it, so I was holding on to it, but then they ended up not moving to LA, so I'm going to, give it to someone else or donate it or whatever. Well, we can't donate it. Get rid of it. Anyways, it's not the point. So, the Buddha, this was an inspiration for the creative space that this room is turning into, and it's been going really good with that. And it's so cool because I pulled it out thinking just, oh, this is cool. I didn't know what it was going to be for, and I didn't even know if I'd actually buy it, whatever. But then I put it away, and then I had found it again, probably like months later. And I was like, dude, this is still calling to me, and this would be perfect for the space that I'm creating. So then I literally like went and called Pier 1, and they said that like nobody had it. There was one actually that was like all the way out in Ontario, and then one that was right here closer to me in Woodland Hills. But like all the other Pier 1s, I guess in California, were out of it. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's literally 2 left. And I had a gift certificate, and they were having a sale because it was like originally $160. So then I literally went to that Pier 1. I had him hold it for me, and I was like, I hope it's as pretty in person. Um, but I did. I went and I got it. And what I love is that I was able to buy something that I would not spend money on that, like that much money. I would not spend, you know, $150, $60 on a wall piece. Like that's just not who I've been in the past. But with the discount and then with also my gift certificate, I think it was like maybe 100 or like $80, which still I probably wouldn't have done. Like it's just not necessarily my vibe. But I was called to do it, and it felt good, and it gave me a new clarity and a new direction on how I wanted the room to go. But what was cool is that I was able to pull something out that I knew I potentially wanted. And whenever I have a vision of something, like my vision board up here, or I'm journaling something, and then I go back and I look at it, and I'm like, I literally made that into my material space. Like I literally brought it into my world. And I could have easily forgotten about it, maybe even for like one more week, and the whole thing would have been gone and sold out, and I never would have gotten it. Because again, I pulled that out of the freaking thing, like out of the book or catalog so long ago. And it just really worked out because one, maybe it was meant to be, I don't know. But it's such a simple idea. Like I put it up on the vision board, and then once I could keep seeing it, and then I started thinking, oh, maybe the creative space and all of this stuff, it started to align to where then this piece got to go into my world. And then I took the action and I created getting it. And now it's like the focal point, and I want my whole house to be shifted into this kind of space. So it also gave me clarity, which is super cool. But how we get anything into our life is that, like the same with like how I got anything in my life, like my clothes, everything. It was like I had a vision, I had a thought, or I saw something and was inspired by it, like, and it helped me move to action. But just really think about, again, we're at the top of the year, like what are the things that you are creating? Like what are the things that you do want? You know, you have to get them in alignment with your head, your heart, and your hands. So you have to know what it is that you want, or at least like have an idea or think about it or pull things out that you like. Maybe you don't know why you like it, how my painting was, but just pull it out, start keeping it in front of your eyes. Because the reason this manifested so late for me was because it wasn't in front of my face. But once I got it back in front of my face, I was like, okay, great. But really think, like, what am I thinking to myself, which in turn is having me feel a certain way, which in turn is having me act a certain way. And then it shows up into my world. So work it backwards with your goals. Like I want this goal in the material realm. Well, I need to take these actions. And in order to take these actions, what a lot of people miss is how they need to feel inside, which will in turn be linked to the thoughts and the roots, any limiting beliefs, whatever. Those things you got to work on, dig in yourself, do that personal development. Anyways, it's kind of a long video, but it's super important. And I think it's a fascinating topic. And I think it's also a fascinating just structure and really simple and easy to be able to get your goal, work it backwards so that you know exactly where you need to start. And I always suggest doing this with people or hire a coach or whatever, because the issue between these two, the feelings and the thoughts, you will keep yourself in your comfort zone and safe, and you're going to be probably doing some self-sabotaging or playing small or all kinds of like little things that we do, the ego does, to keep that goal away from you. So if you're like, why am I not hitting this goal? It's going to be from one of those 3 cause realms. So again, he says it's the mental, the emotional, and spiritual, or it's like what you're thinking, you're feeling, or your actions, same thing. One of those is not working, or 2 of those is not working, they're not in alignment. But work with someone or tell a friend, like talk it out, like have them help you figure out like what is holding you back. Or again, get a coach. This is why I have a coach. This is why I love coaching. All right. Peace out, guys, and cheers to 153. Holla.